There's a woman I want you to picture. She walks into a coffee shop, bumps the edge of a stranger's chair by accident, and immediately says, "Sorry." The stranger doesn't even look up. 2 minutes later, she orders her coffee and accidentally says, "Can I get a latte?" instead of, "I'd like a latte." And before she even gets to the counter, she whispers, "Sorry, is that okay?" Nobody asked. Nobody was bothered. Nobody even noticed. But she noticed. She always notices. And here's the thing, maybe that woman is you. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's the person reading this in the comments who typed "sorry" for the long comment before they even wrote anything. Because somewhere along the line, a lot of us were taught quietly, painfully, without a single lesson that our presence needed to be justified. That just existing required an apology. And today we're going to talk about why that happened, what it's actually costing you, and how you start to take your voice back. Let's start with something I need you to understand right away. If you over-apologize, you are not weak, you are not broken, you are not too sensitive. You are someone whose brain found a very clever solution to a very painful problem. Psychologists call it the Fawn response. Most of us have heard of fight or flight, the instinct to either confront danger or run from it. But there's a third option that doesn't get talked about nearly enough: fawning. Psychotherapist Pete Walker, who specializes in complex trauma, gave this pattern a name. The fawn response is when you try to preempt anger by becoming maximally agreeable, anticipating what people need, smoothing tension before it starts, and taking the blame before anyone even assigns it. It's not a personality trait, it's a survival strategy. And your brain didn't make this up randomly, it learned it, somewhere, from someone. Here's where it gets personal, and I need you to stay with me here because this part matters. For most people who over-apologize, the story starts in childhood. Not necessarily with anything dramatic, not always with screaming or obvious abuse. Sometimes it was quieter than that. Research from the CDC's Adverse Childhood Experiences study shows that emotional neglect affects about 1 in 6 adults. The hallmark of emotional neglect isn't what happened, it's what didn't. Emotions that were never mirrored, needs that were treated as inconveniences. Imagine being a 5-year-old who's crying and instead of being held, you're told, "Stop being so sensitive." What does that child learn? That their feelings are a problem, that their emotions are inconvenient, that to be loved, they need to be smaller. So they shrink, they apologize. They become experts at reading the room before they even walk into it. And the brutal truth is, the nervous system doesn't automatically update when the danger is gone. That child grows up, but the strategy stays. Researchers have identified 6 distinct patterns that show up in adults. The preemptive apologizer, who braces for blame before anything has even gone wrong. The existence apologizer, who says sorry just for taking up space in a room. The success apologizer, who downplays their wins so no one around them feels uncomfortable. The need apologizer, who feels genuine shame for asking for a glass of water. The proximity apologizer, who says sorry for standing near a doorway. And the opinion apologizer, who prefaces every single thought with "Sorry, I might be wrong, but..." Honestly, which one do you recognize yourself in? Or maybe it's more than one. This is the part most people never talk about, because over-apologizing feels polite. It feels safe. It feels like it's protecting the relationship. But here's what it's actually doing. Every time you apologize unnecessarily, you reinforce a negative self-image. And when someone constantly apologizes, they begin to internalize the belief that they are inherently at fault, inherently inadequate. Research by linguist Deborah Tannen found that if you over-apologize, people actually perceive you as weaker and less confident. So the very thing you're doing to protect yourself is making you less safe. There's a crucial difference that most people don't know exists. The difference between healthy remorse and trauma-based apologizing. Healthy remorse is clean. It happens when you genuinely made a mistake. It repairs real harm. It focuses on the other person. And when it's accepted, it ends. Trauma-based apologizing is different. The apology isn't really for the other person. It's an attempt to regulate your own internal state, to lower the threat level before anyone has even indicated there's a threat. It's anxiety wearing the costume of politeness. And in professional settings, this habit is especially damaging. Constantly apologizing for your ideas or contributions makes others question your competence. It signals subordination even when you're the most qualified person in the room. Every unnecessary sorry is a small confession your brain broadcasts to the world. I am wrong. I am too much. I am not enough. And the more you say it, the more your brain believes it. Okay, now here's the part that actually matters, because knowing the why isn't enough. You need the how. And the first thing I want to say is this: you cannot logic your way out of a body-based response. That's why logic alone, I know I don't need to apologize for this, doesn't actually shift the behavior. Your body needs new experiences of safety. Your nervous system needs to learn that you can disappoint someone, say no, or hold a boundary and still be okay. So the first tool is what therapists call a body scan interruption. Before you apologize, your body already knows it's coming. You might feel your chest tighten, your shoulders round forward, your breath shallows. These are the warning signs. When you notice them, pause. Put your feet flat on the floor, take one slow breath, and then consciously choose what you say next. The second tool is a language shift, and this one is simple but powerful. Instead of, sorry I'm late, try, thank you for your patience. Feel the difference? One shrinks you, one offers something. Same situation, completely different energy. Instead of, sorry, I might be wrong, but try, I see it differently. Instead of, sorry to bother you, try, do you have a moment? You're not being rude, you're just not confessing to a crime you didn't commit. And the third tool, the one that takes the most time but matters the most, is compassion for your younger self. The version of you that learned to apologize for existing wasn't weak. They were smart. They found a way to survive a situation they had no control over. They kept you safe. But you're not in that situation anymore. The Fawn response was never a character flaw. It was intelligence. And the nervous system that learned it can learn something new. I want to leave you with one question to carry with you today. What's one thing you've been apologizing for that you're going to stop apologizing for? Your opinion, your needs, your success, the space you take up in a room. You've spent a very long time making yourself small so other people could feel comfortable. You learned it young, you practiced it constantly, and you got very, very good at it. But the same mind that learned to shrink can learn to stand. Start small, notice the urge, take the breath, choose different words. And if this video helped you see yourself in a new way, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Because chances are you know exactly who that person is. See you next time.